Hi everyone, today we are going to see how to deal with array and strings in C programming. So array and strings both are very significant concept in C programming. And so students, today we are going to learn about array. So first you have to understand why we need array. Why we need array, what is the need of that? Okay. Let's print it. So you see here int x equal to 5 and x equal to 10. So by this process 10 has been x has been overwritten by 10, so we'll lose the value. So finally 10 will be printed. So if you compile it and then run it, x equal to 10 is coming. That means x equal to 5 is not coming. So this is a drawback of the array. This is a drawback of the variable. So to overcome this, we have an array concept. Here in the declaration you can either declare you can take whatever is required. Let us say here I required 5, I can declare 30, or even you can declare 5 also. Yeah, no issue. Okay, so that means total 6, not 5, 6. So total this means number of elements should be there in the array. Okay, this is the length of the array. Okay, and then I hope you have understood the array thing. Next, let us say another program. Next, how this array basically array, and this is how you can visualize the array. Actually, we should not visualize the array. It is not happening exactly like this, but it makes things easier if you can visualize everything, right? So in the memory, each location is having some memory address. Remember that each location is having some memory address. So let us assume that this memory address is 65512. This memory address is 65514. That means here to here 2 bytes. The gap is of 2 bytes. So this is 65512, this is 65514. That means 2 bytes. And then 65516, 2 bytes, 2 bytes, 2 bytes, 2 bytes, like that. So that's here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 integers are there. So you need total 2 into 6, 12 bytes of memory. Provided that every integer takes 2 bytes, that is given, like that you are assuming that every integer takes given. It depends on the compiler to compiler, but we are assuming that every integer takes 2 bytes. Okay, so here it is taking 2 bytes, 24 is taking 2 bytes, 34 is taking 2 bytes, 12 is taking 2 bytes, 44 is also taking 2 bytes, 56 2 bytes, and this is also 2 bytes. Now memory address, this is very important. Now if I get time to teach pointers, I think in your syllabus pointer is not there. Anyway, if I'll tell you how to read pointers. I have the material. Anyway, that is not the new syllabus, but it is easy to handle array and other things with pointers. So basically this address is very important, first address of array. From this first address only you can go to anywhere. You cannot directly come and reside over here. It is not possible. You have to come through from the first address itself. Okay. So 24, which is, let us say the name of the array is array. Let us say this name of this array is nothing but array. So array 0 within bracket will be this one. Array 1 will be this one. Array 2 will be this one. Array 3 will be this one. Array 4 will be this one. Array 5 will be this one. And every location will be having some address. Okay, so every time you see 2 byte, it is increasing. So basically this is byte addressable machine, assuming that it's a byte addressable machine. So every time byte was, it increases. So here, if you are here, then this always treated as a 0th position. Remember that, always in C. This is 0th position, this is first position, second position, third position, fourth position, fifth position. From 0th position onwards, you can go to anywhere in the array. So these are all consecutive locations. Okay, and this thing becomes easy when you deal with pointer. So basically pointer will be pointing to this place. Give me 2 minutes, I'll just tell you how exactly it is. So how the value stored in array, these are all integer array, these are all integer value. So here this position will be very crucial, it's an important location. Let us say the name of the array is, this array is array, okay. So these positions will be referred as ARRAY array 0, okay. So this is called index. So this is array 0, this is array 1, this is 2, 3, 4, 5, okay. And this is 0th position, remember that. This is the address, first address. First address is important, very much important. And considering that every time integer is of 2 byte, each integer takes 2 byte. So here it is 65512. If you add 2 bytes over here, it will become 65514. If you add 2 bytes, it becomes 65516. If you add 2 bytes, it becomes 65518. 2 bytes 20, 2 bytes 22. Okay. Now what I was suggesting, when you have a pointer, I will teach you pointer later on. There is a concept in C which is called pointer. When you have a pointer, let us say P, pointer P or PT or PTR. If this PTR points to the first address, then incrementing the pointer itself will help you so that you can jump here to here, here to here, here to here. Address wise it will move. When you are dealing with pointer, it will move through address wise because these are all addresses. Okay, through address, if you reach this address and then if you put a pointer over here, the value will be this one, 17. If you reach this address, pointer is pointing to this address, the value of that pointer will be 56. Like that things will go on. So with pointers, handling this array becomes little bit easy. Okay, so let's print the address in our next program. Let's print the address, we'll understand it. So here you see this is 0th location, this is first location, this is second location, third location, fourth and fifth. Okay, and every time I am printing the address first. So whenever so here you see this one, this operator ampersand is called address operator. So whenever you write ampersand num I, so num I is the array. Now here we haven't declared the length of the array. So it will by default it will take anything, whatever you will do it will adjust to it. Okay. So here you have 6 elements. Now 0 to 5 is going, that means 6 times, and here it should print the address. So let us say this is having some address that will be printed over here, and this element also will be printing by num I. So here you have to little bit careful. Whenever you want to print the address, you have to print num I in this case. This is the address, this will print the address, this ampersand. If you don't give ampersand, then it will try to print the value over there. This is address. Okay, so here every time for every element it is having some address, it is having some address, it is having some address, like that it will be having some addresses, all element. So now if you run it, incompatible implicit declaration built-in function printf. Okay, actually we haven't taken the header file. we have added here header file, and these are the elements of the array. You haven't anything inside it, so that means it is free to have adjust to the length of the array. And here every time we are printing the address, and then you are printing the element. Okay, so here you see, here you can see the address of this is 24. 24 address is this one, that means it is 648 address, third address like that. The last one is this one address is 6487620. okay, this is how it prints addresses, each addresses. Okay, so and then value, corresponding value. So this is how you understood what is address of the each element of the array and what is the value of it, of the array. So each value can be printed by this, and each value can be printed by each address of the value element can be printed like this. Okay, this is what array is. Now strings. So strings are the just that it is so strings are character arrays. Okay, strings are character arrays. So the way a group of integers can be stored in an integer array, similarly a group of character can also be stored in a character array. Character arrays are many a times also called strings, right? So strings and this is nothing but character array. Okay. So the difference is that we will be having characters A, B, C, D inside the character array. Earlier we are having integer value. Now we will be having characters. So here one simple example has been given. Now assuming that character array takes takes 1 byte. Sorry, what do you call? Character takes 1 byte, not character array. Each character takes 1 byte. Yeah, Srinivas, I will come to you. Wait. You are always jumping, man. So each character, if it takes 1 byte, then each character takes 1 byte, assuming that. So here it is Hessler. So in case of string, there are few interesting things. One is that each character takes 1 byte, and it is a character array. That means when characters are stored inside the array, it is called character array, and it becomes a string. And then here, let us say the address starting from first character address is 65518, and then 65519. So 1 byte plus 1 byte plus 1 byte. Okay, 65519, 65520 plus 1 byte. Like that, every time 1 byte it is increasing. Okay, in case of character array, these are all characters. Okay, A, B, C, D, you know that these are all characters. In character array, one interesting thing is that the last index value is nothing but /0. /0 is the /0 notify that it is the end of the string. See, in case of C, it is difficult to get the end of the string. In case of Python and all, I don't know Python, we have len function, but here in C, if I ask you to find the length of this array of this string, it is not that easy. I mean, you have to write a code for that. So how to assume that what is the termination of the string? So only thing is that when it will encounter with /0, which is a character, /0, then you will assume that it is the end of the string. So if you calculate from here, it is 0, or let us say here you initialize the counter value as 1. When it reaches this counter value, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. When counter value becomes 7 and then counter value is 8, at 8th position it will comes out of the loop. If you are using a while loop or something, it will comes out and it will say that this is the end of the string, this is the length of the string. Okay, so this is one catch in string, because last character always will be ending with /0. Last character will be always /0, remember that. Okay, so this will help us to write programs. Okay, now in strings, one simple example here. Character name is Klinsmann, I equal to 0, while I less than equal to 7, print %c. So %c is used for printing each and every character from the array. Here we have initialized the character with Klinsmann. So %c will print one by one. C, first it will print k, first it will print k, then it will print I, L, then it will print I, then N, S, M, A, N. And then when it is less than equal to 7, that means it will go up to 7. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I don't know what is, okay, so it is I equal to 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, this is 5, sorry, this is 5, this is 6, this is 7, okay, 5, 6, 7. At 7 position it will just up to 7 it will print, and then I plus plus will increment. So this is the incrementation, so it will every time it will increment. Once I becomes 7, it will comes out. So this will print the string, given string. So you can see here Klinsmann has been displayed. Okay, so this is what string is. So I think you understood what is string. Now we can have 2D array, we can have 3D array. So these are the next thing that and those things can be taught with pointer. It will be easy for program of getS. 1 second, first let me so let's take this one. So enter your full name and then getS, and then let me see for that whether stdio or .h is enough, or we have to include some other header files. Once you run it, you will understand. So enter your full name. Let us say again I'm printing Ram, hello Ram. So here we are no longer using any scanf or printf statement. We have directly come to getS and putS. Okay, so now onwards don't use any scanf and try to avoid as much as scanf and printf statement, because scanf and printf statement is better suited for integer, in dealing with integer, okay, and float. Dealing with string, it is better that we should be handy with getS and putS. Okay, so this is how string works, and let me tell you one thing: handling string is difficult. Handling string is difficult. Okay, is difficult. So there are some functions. There are some functions in string which you should know. As inbuilt, there are like string reverse. Okay, strrev. String reverse is one function. So this string reverse directly reverse this string. Okay, so for that you have to include stdio hash include string.h, or string.h you have to take. String reverse is one of the function it is. Then we have str string concatenation, string cat, I suppose. Okay, then we have fine. So students, you can see these are the functions. String length, every time you have to write like this. So string length basically finds the length of the string. Then string WR, this function actually converts the string to the lowercase. So string lower actually. String lower, it converts the string into lowercase. String upper, it converts the string into uppercase. And then string cat appends one string at the end of another. That's what I was trying to write here. String cat. So it appends. So it's concatenate actually. Okay, append the string to the end of another. Okay, string cat. Then you have string str n cat, append the first n characters of the string at the end of the another. So this is somewhat different than string cat. Only thing is that one n is there, right? Then string copy, very vital. This one is one of the vital, important, significant inbuilt functions. String copy. So it will copy two string, copy a string into another, and then string. Okay, these are there. String n copy is there. Okay. Then string compare is also very important. That will compare two string based on the ASCII value. Okay. So and then string compare I. This one compare two string without regard to case. That means I denotes that the function ignores the cases. Okay. And then stricmp, compare two string without regard to the case. So and then strdup, duplicates a string, and then strchr, find first occurrence of a given string. So there are many string related inbuilt functions are available in C. And then finally we have string reverse. Let's say as include. Okay, and let's say we're storing it in I. We're declaring it as int I. Okay, let's say I equal to 0 maybe, and then finally if we print it, where I am making mistake, you tell me. Incompatible being declarations and string. Okay, fine. In that case, if you so 13 is the length of the string. Okay, 13 is the length of the string. So this is string length function, which is already existing. Okay, so for this string length you have to input this string.h. Fine. Now let's say I'm going to use string reverse. Let's say 23 target comma source. So target and source. This is target, so this is source. That means the source will be copied over here in this array, and then finally you can print it. This is our array, and this is a target array, which is a character array itself. Both are character array. So here source we have initialized in target. So that means this part of the string, this string we have copied over here in TRAR, target array. Okay. So this is how you can write many inbuilt functions: string length, string copy, string reverse. Okay, string reverse also you can do. So string reverse, is it possible? Let me see string reverse. Let me see if string reverse works over here. So what happens? Missing terminating character. So source has been reversed. SOURCERUOS. Source has been reversed. These three functions I have shown you. Okay, string reverse REV. String reverse. Okay. The string has been reversed. Okay. So similarly, you can also write your own string length function that will count the length, that will find the length of the string of any string. So string length function, already we have inbuilt function for string length, but then we can write our own string length function as well. So this is what this character array I have defined here, and then I have written here this string programming circle, and then using this for loop I am counting the length of this programming circle, which is of 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 of 17 characters. So what is the catch here? I will start from 0, that means P, and then until unless si not equal to /0. /0 belongs to the last element of any string, which is null character. So /0 reminds us the null character. Okay, that means end of the string. Until unless si, this array, becomes null, it will keep counting the characters. So it will increment the characters, and here is the I is the counter. It will store the last index of after the index of e, and then it will count the last index of e, and it will print it over here. Let us run it first. Let us compile this one. Successfully compilation happened, and now if you run it, length of the string is 17. So I hope how to write your own string length function, that also you know now. So thanks for watching, and please subscribe to my channel Programming Circle, and share these videos with your nearer and dearer ones. Thanks for watching. Many more videos to